Intuition is a dangerous thing. Humankind has long sought answers. The truth about the stars, ourselves, and all of our reality. Reality defies understanding. Humankind takes shortcuts, leaps in logic, guesswork, acceptance of truths unproven. Reality defies understanding. We use our greatest asset, our intuition, to see the forest without the trees. But overconfidence is a killer. Like a predator evolved to avoid the notice of its prey, the greatest dangers to humanity lurk above and outside of our perception. Reality defies understanding. Yet we try anyways. Intuition is a dangerous thing. Last time, y'all started a new investigation. You met with Grace, you got a bit of a briefing on what was going on. It turns out over in Montpelier, there's some sort of concern about a death that happened recently that they think might be from unnatural causes. Some deputy there died of toxic shock from far too many heavy metals being in his system and spread and accumulated throughout his system in ways that should have taken months, if not years, to accumulate, even if he was in an extremely toxic environment. The coroner could not figure it out. Nobody could really figure anything out, so Delta Green is on the case. Your job here is to make sure, if this is unnatural, that the other authorities investigating this matter don't find that out. If in any way you can make this a classified case by finding or fabricating evidence, you're encouraged to do so. You're also, as your top priority, encouraged to find this threat if it exists, stop it if at all possible, by any means or cost necessary. You investigated at the local sheriff's office where the deputy worked, and saw his most recent body cam footage, which the other officers thought was a little strange. You saw the police officer, Deputy Jacob, interacting with a man who was just walking in heavy rain, seemingly delirious, out of his mind, just in a business suit, walking down a very long back road, middle of nowhere, drenched and shivering in rain. There was a bit of a strange, disoriented conversation between the two of them before Deputy Jacob just kind of let this man walk back off into the rain, staring at him. You saw his body cam footage perfectly still, almost like he wasn't even breathing, or if he was breathing, he was very light, as the body cam is just perfectly centered on this figure walking away into the fog for several minutes before Deputy Jacob finally regains his senses and drives away. After seeing this, you all thought something is definitely weird here, so you started investigating elsewhere. Some of you went down into the coroners and into the morgue to re-inspect the body with the help of Dr. Collins, the friendly doctor you've brought along. And he found out some things. Two of you went down there, I believe. Was that High Tide and Hollow?
Into the morgue was Hunter and Hallow.
Hunter and Hallow went to the morgue. Okay, so he and High Tide went to the coroner, who the coroner is out sick. He did not come into work this week. So, Hallow and Hunter went to inspect the body, and the doctor found out a few weird things. It appears that the body is not really decomposing, which is strange, obviously. It also appears that his cells are not only not decomposing, but actively being regenerated. He seems like his gut flora is all still alive, although, much like the coroner originally found, the vast majority of his gut flora are some unknown species. Dr. Collins has taken some samples and has sent them off to be analyzed. On the other side of things, we have Hematite and High Tide have gone out to the coroner's house to try and catch him before he rests for the evening. Today was my notes are not behaving. Tuesday. The coroner did not show up on Monday, did not show up on Tuesday, and it's around 6 p.m. at this point that you're headed to his residence. So let's pick up there.
Can we stop by and get some chicken soup on the way there?
Sure. Pick up some chicken soup on the way. That's a fair do. You're in a city. There are plenty of opportunities to find food. It may cost you extra, but you do find it. And then you arrive at the coroner's house. The coroner's name was... Such a long list of NPCs here, I'm sorry. Dr. Halsey. Dr. Brian Halsey. Yeah, out sick. You're not sure why. He said he had some kind of a flu. You're here just to check in on him, do a bit of a wellness check. No one's heard from him in a couple days. So Hematite and High Tide, how are you two approaching this? You can see he's just got a fairly maybe on the smaller side, like townhouse in a suburban area.
Are any of the lights on, or does it seem to be fully dark?
It is fully dark at the moment.
Not even a bedroom light on?
You don't see any lights from the front, at least.
I guess first things first, we knock and make sure we have the soup.
Sounds. So you knock at the door, and there's no response for a little bit. You knock again?
Yep.
All right. He eventually shows up at the door, kind of shuffling, and he opens it, and you can see his skin is very pale. It looks like he is extremely, extremely sick. His eyes are sunken and dark. There's not a lot of color to his skin at all. He almost looks malnourished, despite only being out sick for a couple days here. He's just dressed in a robe. He's got these pajama pants on and some slippers. He just kind of opens the door a crack and looks out. Yeah, can I help you?
I'm
not
Joanna
buying
forgot
anything.
the name. But we'd say, Dr. Whoever, we're here on behalf of the FBI. We're doing a wellness check.
Well, not well, I can tell you that. What else are you checking?
I guess symptoms, whether or not they correlate with heavy metal poisoning.
Not been around any contaminants. I've got a bad flu. Just leave me alone. I'll be fine.
You sure? We want to make sure to take care of you just in case.
Oh, I'll be honest. You coming here and having me open my door to the cold air outside and when I'm about to head to sleep, just let me get some rest. You're not helping.
Understood.
Does he have the door open wide enough where we can see in the house?
He only opened it a couple inches and is kind of leaning around it. Almost leaning up against the wall inside the house to brace himself. He appears very weak.
Would either of us have researched the classic symptoms of toxic metal poisoning?
If neither of you have a medicine score of 40% or higher, then probably not. Go and seek other information specifically somewhere.
I have a medicine score of 0.
Yeah,
Dang.
that's why we sent Dr. Collins along with you.
Well, I
Well,
guess I would note whatever he looks like, which you said very pale and weak, and um, is that all we get from it?
Yeah, he looks extremely sick, but you're talking with him for a second here, and who's got the higher human score?
I
mine
have
is 55.
73.
All right,
All right,
you've got
go
it.
ahead and roll human for me, please.
Oh my god.
He seems extremely sick. He seems very delirious. It almost looks like his eyes are kind of not focusing on you super well, and stuff like that. It just, yeah, he's having a bad time. Can I go lie down, please? Are we done here? You don't have like a warrant or anything, right? I could just shut the door.
Yeah, we might have to come back with a doctor just to make sure we take care of you.
Listen, if you care that much about it, I'll check in the hospital tomorrow. All right?
Would you mind if we sent a doctor over later today to check in on you?
Hey, I'm going to sleep.
Okay, tomorrow morning then.
Ugh, I'll go to the hospital. It's fine.
Okay.
I would say maybe not the hospital. Say just maybe if there's a way we can have our doctor check you out. He's seen a lot of cases and just want to make sure it's nothing that can spread.
I'll be fine. Thank you for your concern.
Any
He
chance you
starts
can
to.
try
Sorry.
a persuade roll on this one?
Um, you can try a persuade at minus 20%. It seems like he is just extremely stubborn, and you get the feeling that he is really not going to budge on this unless you force him to do some other course of action here.
Okay, and do we get the sense that he's actually going to go to the hospital?
You can give me another human roll for that.
You want me to do it again?
Sure.
This is much better than mine.
Yeah, you get the sense that he is feeling unwell enough that he'll probably use what energy he has tomorrow to take himself to the hospital.
All right, making a mental note that we should probably get here before he leaves his house in the morning.
Yeah, and or if there's a way to arrange that when he checks in, he is sent straight to Dr. Collins.
Hmm.
Do you want to roll that persuade? Whoever has it higher, I guess.
What is your persuade, Liam?
47.
47?
Yeah.
Okay, mine's 41, so yours is higher marginally.
Tiny bit.
All right, another check mark.
No, I don't need a house call. It's fine. I'll go. I'll go tomorrow. It's fine. I can drive. Let me sleep.
All right, what time do you usually get up?
Usually 5 a.m. Like this, I don't fucking know, man. Whenever I get up.
All right, thank you. Just wanted to check.
Good night. And he starts to close the door.
I think we say goodnight. Unless High Tide objects, say goodnight and let him.
No, I would, as we're walking away, I would pull out my phone and call Hallow to ask about what the cadaver looked like. Because you did see the body of the deputy, correct?
Yeah. He was in the room while Collins was inspecting him. So, oh yeah, so the body looks exactly the same as it did a week ago. No decomposition at all.
Yeah, but
Uh,
in terms of like symptoms or anything, was there any was the body really pale or did it stay colored?
uh, that's a good question that I don't know if Dan remembers because it's not on the board.
Um, we'll say it definitely like you know didn't look like it had blood flowing through it. Definitely pretty pale.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
any of his organs were working. It's just like his skin was being regenerated.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was pale, but it was a corpse. Not sure what he looked like right before. I can probably ask one of the other officers here. Uh, if we're still at the, well, I'm pretty sure they all left because it was late. So we'll have to ask
You
them tomorrow.
guys, yeah, you guys left to have a private conversation with Dr. Collins.
Yeah, that's right. We were in an interrogation room talking to
Oh,
Dr.
yes,
Collins.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so there might still be someone here. So we can poke out and just ask that question real quick, I guess. Like,
Can I
hey,
tap
what
him on
did
the shoulder and ask if Dr. Collins is around?
here? Yeah, I'll hand the phone to Dr. Collins while I go look
Yeah,
for an officer to
yeah, yeah.
interrogate.
Hello.
Hey, hello. So we saw a missing person. He looks very pale, and I'll give him as detailed of a rundown as I can.
Um, how close did you get to him?
Uh, he was through the door, but we didn't touch or anything.
Okay, okay, good. That might increase your chances here. Okay, listen, we need to be very careful about this. I was just telling these guys about it, but I think we have something big on our hands here. We need to be very, very careful about this. All right, I'm thinking hazmat
Well,
suits,
then
the
you should
works.
know he's thinking about checking himself into the hospital tomorrow.
Oh no, we can't let that. No. Unacceptable.
Is there any way you would be willing to go check him out before then, or have some
Yeah,
solid
of
proof to
course.
convince him that he's not safe to leave?
Be up whenever you all are. There's no reason I can't be.
Um, do we have adequate protection for you to check him out safely?
No, I'm thinking full hazmat suits. Um, yeah.
Alright, well, we'll do what we can to requisition something in the meantime.
All right.
Yeah,
Listen, this stuff. This is not something we can be casual about. We need to be very, very careful here. I sent some samples out. We'll hear back from those hopefully within the next few days. But uh, until we know more, we can't risk anything right now.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
we can stop on the hospital on our way to the motel or wherever we're gonna be and ask if they have a hazmat suit that we can borrow.
I think. I mean, I would recommend just trying to go through the proper channels for this one. Just try to make a requisition up the chain. This isn't. It's not unusual to need suits for a potential bioterrorism incident that we're investigating.
Okay, that makes sense. We'll call Grace once we get off the phone.
All right. Everybody stay safe out there.
you too.
Did Hollow have an answer to the question before we hang up the phone?
Yeah, if I got back from briefly asking, I'll say Sheriff Potter, like how Deputy Jacob was looking last few days before they saw him last.
Well, he was when he was out, he was very sick by the time he was sick for a few days before he fortunately passed away from whatever. but I don't know. He looked like a pretty normal sick person to me while he was here. He just didn't have much energy in him and stuff. I don't know. What do you mean? What did he look like?
I don't know, like pale, sweaty, weak.
I don't know. He wasn't. He wasn't that bad before you left here. He might have been that at home. I don't know.
All right.
Talk to his wife, I guess, but I really would recommend you don't, unless it's extremely important. He's grieving right now. Please don't interrupt her.
Well, the other half of our team just checked in with your coroner, and he's not looking. He's looking real bad. We want to be sure that this isn't the same thing that happened to Deputy Jacob.
Do you think you think Brian's life's in danger?
It very well may be.
All right, we got to get him to a hospital as soon as possible.
It sounds like it's a quarantine type situation. Hospital might not be the best option. I can check back in with my team and let you know what our handler says. But
Give
we
me
we
a
are taking immediate action on this.
give me a persuasion roll. I think it seems like he is in his mind right now.
Jeez.
It's a situation of like one of his close friends and coworkers' life is at stake here. You know, it's like he's not thinking entirely clearly, and he kind of seems like a stubborn guy to begin with. Yeah, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, you check in with your people.
Listen, the last thing we want is for a bio incident to spread. If he's contagious, hospital's only going to expose more people. We have a doctor with us as well. We're going to have check in on him. So please don't make any hasty moves.
How contagious are we talking here?
If so, the coroner was the only one who had any direct contact with your deputy's body. If it's contact based, that's real contagious. If it's the coroner's assistant is fine so far, so it probably isn't airborne, but we just don't know enough yet. We do know that there was some very strange bacteria in and on and throughout Jacob's body. So,
Agent, do you think my men may be compromised? Do you think his wife may have caught this sickness?
his wife, possibly. Anyone? Uh, if he wasn't making a lot of physical contact with any of your men, they're probably safe.
His
Especially
wife,
if he got himself out of there quickly.
his wife was 7 months pregnant. We need to take care of her as soon as possible.
Understood. If we can check in on her, if this is something that you want to check in on her, just make sure that your men know to keep a distance just in case.
Understood.
At
Seems
that
like
point,
he is. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to just say that at that point, this is when Hal will head back to the other half of the team.
They're probably just wrapping up that phone conversation when you get back.
Yeah.
For hello, right?
Yeah, it was just so it does seem like the deputy had all the same symptoms.
They honestly, none of the officers at the station saw him before he got super extra sick. Sheriff Potter brought up a very salient point that his wife may have also been exposed given he went home and quarantined there and was sick there. He also emphasized that she is 7 months pregnant, and if we're going to cure, if she is affected, her of this and her infant, need to act fast.
All right. I think if you guys are able to get that tape and send it back to headquarters and have them identify whoever it is that started this, maybe we can see if there are cases popping up somewhere else too. Because if it's just contact that's needed, then this will spread quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, our bodily fluids probably even more so given the vomiting. Uh, so I don't know if coroner got any fluids on him. Directly, if he was, I mean, it's possible. Uh, but yeah, just
I mean,
not enough known.
I think first thing we should call Grace and ask for a hazmat suit
And
and have the
probably
doctor
a
check
rapid
out.
response team.
I think we should have the doctor check out the coroner in the morning, because if it is the same thing, then it is a rapid response needed.
All right, maybe just ask her to have them on standby just in case.
Because maybe the coroner does just have the flu, but seems very suspicious to me.
But I do think we need to get ready to accept that we're going to have to, you know, call this in and definitely classify this. Like this is meeting the conditions, I think.
Yeah, so what did you say happened in the autopsy? I don't know if we talked about that yet.
During the autopsy itself, we don't. Let's see.
Well, Dr. Collins.
Yeah, Dr. Collins. What Dr. Collins found specifically was that the cells on the corpse weren't actually decomposing. Like the cells aren't dead, but the body is. Uh, the bacteria isn't only in his gut; it's all over the place. Particularly concentrated around organs where the heavy metals were concentrated primarily. So it's not viral, it's bacterial.
Okay, just want to make sure we give all the information to Grace that we can.
And be careful in giving her too much. She was unhappy the last time we gave her a lot. But, fortunately, so far it's fairly mundane, outside of being weird.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, I'll go give Grace a call.
Yeah, we'll wrap up here at the sheriff's station and meet you back at the hotel.
All right, I'll hang up the phone and give Grace a call.
Agent, status report.
Yes, we got here on the scene. Dr. Collins did an inspection of the body, and it doesn't seem to be a virus. It seems to be bacterial, and the cells aren't actually decomposing. Seems like they're kind of rebuilding themselves, and the bacteria is concentrated mostly around the organs with the heavy metals. The coroner who did the autopsy is out sick. We checked in on them, and it does not look good for them. We're gonna have Dr. Collins check in with them in the morning, and I think if the coroner does end up having the same thing, we might need to have a rapid response for quarantining a lot of people because it might be contact based. And Hallow and Hunter will also be sending you a video of who the deputy got it from in the first place if you could ID them.
Uh, reminder about hazmat.
Yes. Are we able to get any hazmat suits for Dr. Collins?
We should have some in the green box. Go and visit that. If you need more, we can requisition them. There should be some in functioning order there. Also, agents, you should probably, within the next few days, burn that body. You may want to burn any bodies you find. Have to cover this up. If these bodies are a vector for this spreading, and they're not decomposing, they're not going to take care of themselves.
That is a good point.
Thank you for the update, Agent. Do you have any other needs?
No. I don't believe so at this point.
Very well. Stay tuned for further communication. Thank you for the report. Click. So, you guys have split up a bit, and I think at this point, Hello and Hunter, you two, you've been alone with Dr. Collins for a bit, but at this point, the, excuse me, the Sergeant Hayes, who is assigned to kind of stick with you during this investigation, is now like no longer letting you have a private conversation here. He's like kind of forced himself into the room. Like once you left and came back, he's here now. So, yeah, he's just going to be tagging along with you on your investigation per the sheriff's orders. So he's just kind of sitting, leaning up against the wall and watching whatever you're doing now.
All right.
Well, we can't really continue that line of conversation at this point, so.
Yeah. Well, I told Garrett. I told Garrett we meet him back at the hotel, so we can head out of here. Sergeant Hayes, I assume you're going to want to check back in with us first thing in the morning?
Yes,
or are you
sir.
also getting a room?
Nope, I'll meet you here in the morning. What time are you all packing up?
Well, we're going to get, I don't know. You might have a bit of an early start too, so say meet you here at 7. If that sounds good to you.
Understood. He doesn't leave the room.
That's fine. We'll leave the room though.
7 it is done.
He'll follow you out. He conveniently gets in his car at the same time you do.
Are we going just right back to the hotel now?
Yep. No reason not to do it.
Yeah.
Stopping by the green box then?
We will not stop by the green box because we can see this guy's tailing us for now. So we'll probably drop that off in the morning.
We're recommended to bring a metal detector if you want to find the green box.
That's true.
Do we have a metal detector? Probably not.
I won.
Yeah, we're in a city. We could probably go to a pawn shop and get one.
Yeah. It's starting to get late enough that some of the stores are closing. There's a handful still open at this point. Starting to get to the time of night where it's like mostly convenience stores, gas stations, that kind of thing, still open. But
do we need to attempt
you can steal one if you really need it urgently.
Do we need to attempt a bureaucracy check to if there's one open that might have one?
A bureaucracy check to just
Get a
buy one
detector.
if there's a store open?
Yeah.
I'm thinking more like a luck check to see if a store is open at all, and then this would be in a small enough expense that we wouldn't need to roll for the actual expense.
No.
It's like the hardware store closed early.
That's fine.
All right.
They
well,
close early on
okay, we're gonna-
Tuesdays specifically. For whatever
Of
reason.
course. Well, we should probably split up in the morning and have someone go to the doctor's to make sure he doesn't leave first. That way we can get the metal detector and find the hazmats.
What's the driving situation as you guys are all heading to the hotels?
Hunter has his own truck that he'll be taking.
Somebody carpooled. I think Collins went with hematite, but I don't remember who else carpooled.
It was High Tide and Hallow
Yeah,
were both in my vehicle getting up here.
yeah.
And I
So-
think we took Hematite's car.
So yeah, you and hematite get back in and pop over the hotel. So it's so I guess Hollow has to ride with Hunter to the hotel then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter doesn't have an issue with that.
Three people in
among
a small farm truck.
yeah, I guess Dr.
You can get in the
Collins
trunk, in the bed.
He's wedged in the middle, like awkwardly between you two in the front seat. So
I was
between
gonna
the
put
two
my
of you,
peanuts there.
excellent. Who has the higher alertness score?
Let's see. My alertness is 56.
Mine is higher at 64.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
Rip.
Check the box.
Indeed, yeah, check the box. You arrive safely at the hotel.
I open the door and kind of like unwedge, half fall out. There's like an audible pop.
Oh no.
Well, we're here. Where's a good place to get dinner around here?
This light probably only diners open. Or fast food.
Yeah, I think we passed McDonald's a couple blocks back.
You wanna go get McDonald's? And go for a walk.
Yeah, I need to stretch my legs.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess we'll
You get
saunter down and get
McDonald's.
burgers.
Yep.
Get burger. We see
It's
a very
burger
quick
time.
we see a very quick, like awkwardly silent scene of three of you sitting at the table eating burgers, just silent. No one else in the fast food place. And then we snap back to you're back at the hotel. All right.
Oh,
Well,
that was good, I guess.
it was
Well,
filling.
good night.
Good night. Good night.
We probably have twin beds, so there's probably at least two of us in one room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. How much do you think Delta Green splurged on this? Like, do we have like
It's
three
not.
people in one room, or okay?
You all are responsible for your own travel and accommodations on this.
Great.
So that will depend on your own character's frugality, I guess.
Well, Hallow will probably be trying to share a room with another person, at least for security's sake, while on a mission
Who is bunking with
or an
Hallow?
opera.
Hunter can, since we're both right here already.
Okay,
Dr.
that's a
Collins
good
will do his
other
own
person
room.
to have. Yeah, and we've got the tape with us as well.
Yes, we can keep it secret and safe.
Got the body cam footage.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was like a DVD or something. But yes, you do have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hallow puts
We've
it
not.
in the room shitty little safe.
So are we gonna sleep in shifts, or what do you want to do?
We can probably just sleep like normal, man. Like, but
Yeah,
I
anything
don't
happens, I assume we'll probably just wake up immediately anyway.
probably. And look, if all we've got looking at us right now is Sergeant friggin' Guy, I think we're fine.
Sergeant friggin' Guy.
John Sargent.
That's what he's being, man. He's being a friggin' guy.
True.
Now,
Yeah,
we did.
we did get connecting doors between the rooms, so I think I remember saying that.
That does sound familiar.
So we have connecting rooms to at least where we probably have High Tide in the same room and Doc Collins and Hematite in the other. If that sounds good to everyone.
I'll bunk on the cot.
Sure,
We
that
probably have
works.
a pull-out bed on the couch in the room.
Split up between two rooms, it sounds like.
Yeah,
I think
there's
so.
an interconnecting door so that we can easily converse.
So, Hollow Hunter one room, Hematite, High Tide, and Collins in the other.
Or however.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I heard, but
Yeah.
feel free to arrange it how you will. I'm just trying to confirm.
Yeah, that works.
We're having a slumber party.
All right, you slumber. Anybody who needs to roll anything for sleep, you go ahead and do so. I think several of you have sleeping disorders.
I have a sleeping disorder. That's a sanity check.
Yep.
I thought everyone
Yay.
needed to roll for sleep.
If you had a breakdown during a day, you need to roll during your next sleep. But if you have a sleeping disorder, then you always need to roll every night.
I believe I also have a sleeping disorder.
I think so. I'm pretty sure several people do.
Can I take meds?
Can take meds. I believe that gives you a plus 20% on this roll, but it means there'll be worse consequences if you fail the roll.
So
I think Hematite's gonna forego the meds.
Oh, the meds would have made it worse, so you made the right choice. So you will wake up exhausted, Hematite, as you just are unable to find sleep. What thoughts fill Hematite's mind tonight as you're awake?
She's just it's a new place, new sounds. She's startling at every single sound, basically.
All right. So you are exhausted. You'll take a minus 10% penalty today. You can take stimulants or caffeine or whatever to offset that, but it will drain your willpower to do so. Everyone else got a good night's sleep, especially Hunter. Hunter slept like a baby. Critical success.
Sometimes it turns out having other humans around who you can more or less trust is helpful.
Whoa.
He kind of forgot that.
No, poor Hunter.
We are the only ones who have shared any sort of weird experience with him, so.
So you all wake up, and Dr. Collins wakes up, and he I'm feeling a little under the weather here.
Oh no, his sanity's low.
But he's feeling a lot under the weather, actually.
Oh, maybe he's sick. Ew. That's not great.
he doesn't need to
Oh my
consume a
God.
lot of water.
Poor man.
Is he just
Could we get him
dying?
killed?
Guys, I'm not used to getting up this early. I'm sorry. I was confident. I'm not. Oh, I shouldn't have. 5 more minutes.
Well, Hal will turn on the lights and just try and get a better look at him without touching him. Doc?
You turn
Is
on the
there a
lights.
I was gonna say, is there a way to do a search roll or some sort of alertness check in the hotel rooms to see if the police bugged them?
Absolutely. I think search makes perfect sense.
Who's got best search?
I have 27, so not good.
Oh, I have 70.
Yeah, that's probably pretty good in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I think an 80
Any
is
bugs?
like literally a master. Like you are like one of the top experts in the world. Is like 70 means you are extremely good at finding things, and you're very confident there are no bugs in these rooms. No.
Okay. Hey Doc, you got any of your bacteria swabs?
I don't really carry a big lab with me. I was using some of the supplies in the corner. Did grab a few things. I don't really have many tools here. Why? It's not like I have microscopes tucked away.
You don't?
Well,
Oh, not too heavy.
so how are you feeling exactly? And how pale is he?
With the light on, you can see. I mean, he doesn't look nearly as pale as the other people you've seen, right? Neither like the body nor like the other people. Titan High Tide saw the coroner, and he looked extremely pale. This guy, not so much. Dr. Collins, he looks pretty normal, but he definitely looks under the weather, right? He looks sick. It's not like he's deathly pale or anything like that.
So, all right. You might want to. Ooh. So you know how you were asking us to try and keep you out of the line of fire? It might be a little late for that.
Wait. No. Hold on. I'm
You
still waking up
did
here.
you? How much contact did you have with Deputy Jacob's body? Did you get any fluids on you?
No, I was pretty careful. I wore gloves and a mask. I didn't have a hazmat suit though. It's hard to remember.
All right, we got to go. Doc, shit. Hal is starting to go into just solution, get us out of here, and the man quarantined mode.
Yes.
If anyone's about to intervene.
Facts. Sanity roll versus helplessness for every. Helplessness, you don't need to roll it, but you know.
All right, Hog.
Okay, 0 on a success. So you.
Was hematite in the room for this as well? I figured it was like before we'd met up in the morning.
I think Collins was in your room. You,
Yeah.
Collins and
Hyde. Okay, cool.
So yes.
Unless you're adapted to helplessness.
I am that.
You don't need to roll. Still a even on a pass roll, there's still an urgency to the situation. You're just like not losing sanity over it, right?
Yeah. Okay. We need that hazmat now, and we need this on Dr. Collins. We need to contain this to him now. Doc, can you go sit in the bathroom for a minute? Just
yeah.
we need.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
we are going to do what we can to get you out of this, but we also
You don't think I have
need to contain this.
God, okay. I see. Yeah. He gets up immediately and goes to the bathroom.
All right, so those of us who weren't with him all day should probably go get the hazmat suit.
Yep. We still need a metal detector. Don't know where we're going to find one this early, but we can try.
I mean, hardware stores are usually open pretty early, I would hope.
And also probably what we got up at, what, 6 probably, or 5?
Yeah, probably 6 or I mean whatever you want.
All right. We'll say 5:30 and give us some margin. Okay. Does anyone want to stay here and keep talking to the doctor? Just keep him company, keep him calm. We don't want him panicking.
I mean, I was thinking that the two who were with him yesterday should probably stay here until we determine if proximity is
Exactly.
enough to do it.
Hmm.
If
And,
proximity was enough, I think there'd be a lot more people fully exposed, like and showing symptoms, like the coroner's assistant, and also myself and Hunter, for that matter.
and everyone
Yeah,
at
we
the
definitely
police
would've.
station, too.
Maybe the bacteria traveled across. Maybe it passed through the whatever barrier the gloves he was wearing had.
Okay. Well, then I will defer to your judgment.
So who has a very high alertness? Anybody have an alertness above 60?
Hunter does.
Hunter does.
All right, Hunter. You hear coming from the bathroom like the sound of a couple metal clinks, like very small but like rapid. Like a
Something's
bunch of
happening in the
small
bathroom.
things- yeah, like a bunch of small things dropped on the floor.
Something's clattering. He's doing something in there.
Doc, you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm hungry.
What are you doing
He's
in
eating
there?
metal. We gotta stop
No,
him. I'm gonna burst in and
all right.
prepare to restrain.
He didn't like lock the door or anything, so you just burst open the door, just lean on it and you turn the handle and it pops open. And you can see he has like his wallet in his hand and he's picking out like various coins and just eating them. So
All right, I'm just
you
gonna
were going to a strain, so give me athletics.
Yeah, yep.
He's gonna athletics as well. He's a very bad athletics, so
Wiry
he
little
actually
bugger.
succeeds.
Oh no!
So you maybe grab him like around his waist, but his arms are still free and he just keeps shoving coins in his mouth.
Like Popeye, he downed a bunch of iron.
Yes.
Will somebody help me in here?
Not sure you should be touching him.
If I don't already have it, I'm not gonna get it, probably.
Everybody give me a sanity roll for seeing this guy eat coins.
I'm gonna punch this guy if nobody is helping me.
Oh yeah, just try and knock him out.
Okay.
Yes.
1 sanity damage on a failure, even for you, High Tide. This is from Unnatural. Yeah, if you want to just punch him, if no one else is jumping in, you can do so. I will say he looks very weak right now. So your punch, I believe you want to roll unarmed combat, and then I think it's a D4 by default, but I should double check this because I don't actually remember off the very tippy top of my head. Okay, bare
unarmed
hands.
attack is 1d4 minus 1?
Minus 1 is what I have written down here as well, yeah. 1d4 minus 1. 3 maximum damage. This knocks him out. He is reduced to an unconscious. So with one punch, you just what? And he goes down to the floor. He drops the coins, and he is just out cold.
Fuck, dude.
All right.
Ugh.
Hallow calls Grace as he's walking out the door to just get some, or I get maybe just walking into the adjacent room.
Okay, getting some space in the adjacent room. You call. She says, "Agent, status report."
Dr. Collins is infected.
God damn it.
I don't appear to be yet. Hunter and I were in the same room as him and the corpse yesterday. Neither of us seem affected yet. If it's contact based, Hunter might be affected now because he just knocked him out. He was eating coins in the bathroom.
He was eating. Okay. Slow down. Let's. There might be a cure. We can think of something. There may be some sort of mitigating possibilities. He was eating coins?
Yeah, that's probably where the heavy metals were coming from in people's systems.
Okay, if we manage to starve the disease of heavy metals, could it die off on its own?
Well,
Maybe. We don't. That's a good point. The doc had found yesterday that it seemed as if the deputy here had been ingesting heavy metals. So
see.
the bacteria probably does gain something from that. So maybe it could be starved.
Okay, you could try. I'm sure there's various antibiotics you could get around here that might help. You might need to do a little bit of unconventional acquisitions. That may be something you can work with. Is the doctor awake?
No, he's been knocked out.
Okay, that's probably for the best for now. If you can get him awake, he may have more ideas. I'm going off the top of my head. I'm not trained for this. I will reach out and see if we have any other doctors in the area who might be, or any contacts who are available to provide more information on this. But we have to limit the spread of this knowledge too. Listen. I'll get back to you when I can.
I would walk into the other room before she hangs up as well and say, Doc Collins also did send you samples. You might want to be careful with those and quarantine them or have heavy precautions when testing them.
Yeah, passing that on too.
Good, understood.
All right, we'll let you know when we know more.
Block agents, shut this down. Look.
Hal will turn to high tide. How much you want to bet that coroner is also eating metal?
Pretty high probability. Grace on the phone last night as well said we might need to start burning corpses. So I don't know if we want to go figure out some way to get rid of the deputy's body because if it is contact and if it goes through gloves, that is very concerning.
Yeah. Incredibly. In fact, Hell is immediately concerned for Hunter, thinking this. We're going to want to keep Hunter away from metal.
Yeah, is there rope in his truck? Maybe we could. Hey Hunter, you have rope in your truck?
Sure do.
Reminder that we need a metal detector to find this green box, so maybe taking him there might not be the best idea.
Oh no, I mean tying Hunter and the doctor up in the bathroom away from metal.
I don't know that we need to fully tie, maybe just their hands and remove metal from their vicinity, but oh, and that freaking sergeant is going to be waiting for us at 7. We have checks his watch. I don't know, probably an hour.
Well,
Okay.
should
Shit,
we
what do we
split up then?
probably? But, what do we even tell this guy? Because we were gonna go and grab the. We were gonna have Doc Collins give a checkup to the coroner, but that's not gonna happen now. I don't know. Maybe I can go back to the sheriff's
told him
station
a
and talk to
water-
the sheriff.
We told them a watered down version of the truth. Our doctor started showing symptoms of unusual activity and led us to believe that the coroner is probably unsafe and we are calling this a quarantine situation and awaiting more expert medical advice.
Perfect. Thank you. I will relay almost exactly that, depending on how much I remember. No, and I will. Rowan, I'm going to take your truck if that's okay. If you're quarantining.
Yeah, that's fine. Just try to avoid using like too many electronics with screens inside it. I don't want to risk stuff getting in.
Yeah, for sure.
So who's staying with the two?
Toss you the keys.
Yeah. He'll toss the rope back to you. You can. All right, and make sure to, when the doc wakes up, ask him if he has any ideas on how to slow down this bacteria, and anything to otherwise counteract heavy metal poisoning.
Yeah, I'll make sure to ask him that. Probably good to, I guess, if it'll make you feel safe, I'll start whatever he says myself too, just in case.
That works. I'll go to the sheriff's station. Hematite and High Tide, are you good to go to figure out where that green box is? I don't even know if we need to go to the green box anymore.
Yeah, are we just gonna leave the two of them here in the hotel room?
We definitely need a hazmat suit for if we're going to be interacting with anyone further. And we do need to enforce a quarantine on that coroner.
Yeah. I think that's why it's important that we get to the sheriff's station and let them know that he shouldn't be going anywhere. If maybe one of you wants to go to his house to make sure he hasn't left and stop him from leaving if he tries.
The sheriff? Coroner.
The coroner.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I wanted to get the hazmat suit.
Well, if you think you have time, I gotta go.
So Hallow's heading out to the truck. Tide and Hematite are staying together? Is that what it sounds like? Hunter staying behind?
Hunter is staying behind, yes.
So it's High Tide and Hematite are together to go find the green box and stuff, is that right? What's the order of events here?
Yeah, I think unless anybody has an objection, in Hematite's paranoia and self-preservation, I think she's gonna go for the green box first in case she has to have any physical contact with the coroner.
Okay. And High Tide, are you tagging along with Hollow or Hematite? Paging. You muted? Or AFK? That's fine. We'll assume that High Tide goes along with Hematite for now. And Hollow, you're first outside because you're in a rush. You're trying to get out and try to get there before this sergeant arrives. Give me an alertness test, please.
Yes, just a second. Nothing. Worse than nothing.
You look down at the keys, you find the truck, and you just pop that open. When you get into the truck, you hear a knock, knock, knock on the window of the passenger side door.
He looks over. He motions for him to get in the car.
Door. Morning. Thought I'd meet you here. Easier, faster.
Great. We need to quarantine the coroner and the body, and I'll tell you more on the way to the station. He starts driving.
You could tell when he was getting into the car, he had a bit of a smugness to him that he like gotcha here, and then by your tone, he immediately switches like, okay, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So just a brief with the sergeant. So our doctor, the one who inspected the body yesterday, he is massively sick and showing very strange behavior. The only thing that has gone on since yesterday was he was touching that body.
Okay, we need to.
Your coroner probably is also affected by the same thing. We know that it's heavy metal based, and potentially direct contact transferable, even with gloves. So if you have any hazmat, we need to find those.
We could.
Do you have an incinerator?
I think we have the cremation facilities in the morgue.
We need to use those on your friend. I'm sorry, but if his body is a vector, we need to dispose of it now.
Slow down. We need to. I need to contact my boss. Hold on. I'll call my boss. You drive us wherever we're going. I'll keep him updated. That's my job.
Yep. We're going to your boss right now. We're going to the station.
All right. So he calls ahead, and you hear shouting over the phone, and he starts to get heated back, and they're like, "It's like, he says it's a contamination. He sounds real serious about it. We gotta move on this." And the sheriff's, you can barely hear over the line the sheriff shouting back. His wife isn't grieving. We're not gonna just incinerate his body immediately. That's not the proper way to do things. They're like shouting back and forth at each other as you drive over there. Hematite and high tide. What are you doing?
Getting a metal detector.
All right. We'll say this time in the morning. Yeah, you find a hardware store. The one that was closed last night, you took a note of what time it would open in the morning. You just go to that one. You pick up a metal detector. It's not a crazy expense. We don't need to roll for it. And you have acquired a metal detector. Da 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 da.
All right, now to find a green box.
All right.
I would say, is there any way to drop me off outside of the coroner's house before you go searching for it, so I make sure he doesn't leave?
Good idea.
Sure, if you're willing to take that risk.
I mean, at this point, we have to stop the spread, so if it comes to it, I will make contact, but I will try to avoid that at all costs.
All right, so high tide. You get dropped off outside the coroner's house, outside of Dr. Halsey's house. What are you doing? Are you just watching the door so he doesn't leave? Or are you going to try to knock and get in contact with him? What's your plan here?
Just watching the door, making sure he doesn't leave.
All right, so you just watch. Go back to hematite then. You're looking for a green box.
Yes, I am.
You were given coordinates out in the woods outside of town. You kind of drive off in that direction, getting as close as you can on the roads, but it's you never really get like all the way there, you know? And so at a certain point you just kind of have to park, but it's kind of awkward because you have to park just like in the middle of a neighborhood. That's the closest road you could find to this place. It's like this green box is very far in back of someone's yard. You kind of have to walk across their property and back, and then go like, much deeper into the woods than is probably their property. It's probably someone else's like state property or something at that point. And in fact, it actually starts to go into a state park. Back there is where the green box is, but this is the closest road. So you're heading on back that way. Do you like take note of any of the houses in this area, or are you just focused on the green box at all costs, just immediately heading that way?
If anything from the houses sticks out, I definitely want to remember where I parked.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Are you being particularly stealthy about sneaking through this? It is kind of the morning and you're just parking in a random neighborhood, or are you just walking as quickly as possible?
Um, I mean, I think hematite would try and blend in as much as possible.
Okay.
And
Give
just
me
like act really confident, brazen it out.
Yeah, give me a stealth roll then. I'll give you plus 20% because it's not a particularly difficult task, but it's still going to be a roll for it.
With the plus 20%, I succeed.
That is a success. Okay. So you can see as you sneak by, there's an old lady out in her garden, just like weeding early morning. She's got like a wide brimmed hat to block out the sun that hasn't quite risen all the way yet. She's just out there in her cute gardening outfit, and you just see when she tilts the hat down for a minute, and you take that moment to sneak by on the opposite side of the garden, make it back into the woods. The coordinates take you about a kilometer and a half into the woods back there. You're a little ways into the state park at this point, and you start firing up the metal detector. You have to assemble a few parts and all that and get it started, insert the batteries, all that. But then you have it ready. You start searching around, the clicks and the beeps as you get closer, and eventually beeps converge on something. Something definitely buried under a whole bunch of dirt, and it looks like almost just very, very thick vegetation back here. It's a very overgrown area. You're kind of wading through plants as you try to reach the coordinates.
All right. At that point, I probably would start digging.
All right. Won't make you roll for that, but it will take a little bit of time, as it appears that nobody's visited this place in quite a long time. It's just very overgrown, and like a whole bunch of storms have kicked up dirt that's resettled around this area and stuff like that. But you start digging, and it's only buried under like a few inches of dirt, really, but the vegetation's the bigger annoyance. You have to start like tearing away at some of it to get it out of the way and untangle it and all of that. And then there's a layer of leaves, which are much easier to just kind of kick aside, just wet old leaves. And then you find it. A metal hatch on a concrete wall. It appears to be the entrance to a bunker.
Down I go.
All right. It appears padlocked shut.
Is there
Very
like
old
a code for it?
It appears to be like a key padlock, not like a code padlock.
Did we get a key?
You did not.
Does the padlock look breakable?
It looks very breakable, but you imagine you'd need either a good bit of strength or some kind of tool to break it. Or you could pick it if you think you're lockpicking is a special skill you can learn. I don't know if it has that, but if you do, that would be an easy solution.
Hematite does not have that.
I mean, she's got a shovel.
Yeah, I was
right?
gonna say smash, smash, smash.
Yeah, I think she's gonna smash the lock.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll say you brought a shovel then. That's fair. You were instructed to bring a metal detector, so
And I have
with
to
a
dig.
yes. With a shovel, I'll say this is a strength times 5 roll. Nice.
Ooh.
Turns out you're lucky. This lock is very old at this point, and it's kind of rusted away in some parts. And you hit it at just the right point that something snaps inside and it breaks free. And you're able to just untwist it and pull it out and descend into the green box. And we'll come back to you after we snap back to Hunter. You are in the hotel with Dr. Collins. Hunter, are you just watching him in the bathroom, or what are you doing here?
Yeah, I've just pulled up a chair to the entrance of the bathroom. I'm sitting on it backward, slumped over, just staring at him.
All right, I think we see you sitting there for a moment, and then the doctor starts to rouse. Oh, my head. Oh, God. He's just been kind of drooling onto the floor, and he kind of peels his face up off the floor. Have you tied his hands already?
Yes.
He starts to kind of shift around. He's like, why am I tied up? Oh.
You're sick, doctor. Good morning. Sorry, had to knock you out.
Oh.
You got the disease that we're researching. You were eating metal. You didn't seem to realize anything was wrong, and that's really concerning, doctor.
He slumps his head back down on the floor. Oh, no. Okay, no. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Alright, so let's say, hypothetically, you're fine. Still have some questions I gotta ask you, and you gotta play along. I'm playing along, too, to make them feel better, even though pretty sure nothing at all is wrong with me. So we're just gonna pretend nothing's wrong for a little bit, and I just need you to, answer some professional questions so we can take some precautions to make other people feel better, okay?
Okay. I can do that.
So let's say that both of us we had a bacteria infection. What do you have that get prescribed to both of us right now?
Well, we could try antibiotics, but I'll be honest, I don't think that'll work. If I were any doctor who saw this, and this man went to the doctor beforehand, they would have given him that already. It obviously didn't work. That's what I think.
Well, that's not great, but I appreciate your honesty.
It's not great, no. Here's the answer you're probably not going to like even more, though. I think this thing, whatever it is, it thrives on metals and acids. It was around all the digestive organs. That's where the acids are, and that's where the metals were. I think we need to starve it. I think. Oh God. Listen, this is not gonna be pleasant.
We're gonna have to make ourselves throw up, is what you're saying.
Well, that's a start. But we need to neutralize our digestive fluids probably for a good couple weeks here. And if we survive that, we might starve it out.
Doesn't sound like something that somebody could survive to me.
It's going to be hell. But it might just get us out of this. We're gonna need a lot of sodium bicarbonate.
What's that?
Baking soda.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That should do it. It's not gonna be fun.
Okay. Well, I don't have a phone, so we're gonna have to wait for them to come back. I'll see what we have in the room, but
you have a room telephone, probably.
Oh yeah, we are in a hotel. I'll call and ask for them to send some up.
He does not seem enthused about this plan, but he does seem confident.
Alright.
Poor
I'll
guy.
call and ask them to send some baking soda up.
Poor guy is at 1 HP. And
Oh, he is not surviving this. I don't know if Hunter's surviving this.
It's gonna be bad. It's a very risky thing. But so is the disease. So, hey, this is field medicine and field science here. You just figuring something out because you don't have a real cure. So, with that realization and Hunter deciding to call for that, we'll snap back to Hallow. Hallow, you've arrived at the sheriff's station. You've hardly stopped the truck by the time the sergeant has already like popped open the door and hits the ground running and just takes off inside.
All right. Hal also follows quickly behind, especially seeing how quickly that guy's moving.
All right. So he runs inside and he starts asking around questions. He's like, "Has Janet arrived yet? Can we call Janet? Just tell her to take the day off. We don't want her to panic. Live alone. She will live with family." They're all just like exchanging questions back and forth. They're all clearly like rising to a panic as all of them are kind of cycling each other's energy higher about this situation.
How, recognizing the rising panic, just kind of sighs to himself, feeling like, I swear I got myself out of this kind of work, and raises his voice and starts to try and coordinate all of these people together. Like, hey, okay, we don't need to panic. We have a few action items we need to do in order to fully enact this quarantine. Whoever said to call Janet and tell her not to come in, that was a good idea. Tell her to take the day off for reasons. I don't know, make something up.
Let's see, is there like an authority role? Is it like bureaucracy? Bureaucracy or persuade, whichever's higher. You have a different
persuade. My other suggestion would be criminology because we're in a.
You know what? Charisma is even better, probably. Just raw charisma of the situation.
Ooh, that's gone down.
Then...
my persuade is pretty good.
What's your charisma though?
Well, my charisma is 9. That adaptive violence did a lot to me.
Yeah, that probably hit you pretty hard. So yeah, whatever is highest amongst any. All right. Yeah, right away. Okay. He starts pulling out a phone and walks off to a corner of the room.
All right. Has the sheriff arrived here yet? Sheriff, are you here?
Yeah, the sheriff's here, and he appears. You can see him. His like jaw is stuck out a little bit, and you can see like the gears are turning in his head. He's kind of like flexing his jaw muscles a little bit. It appears he does not like having orders barked at him, but he has relented to your authority in this situation.
Turning to the sheriff, Hal will say, "Hey, sorry about this is your jurisdiction. I'm not trying to step on your toes, but I recognize the rising panic when I see it. I've worked in missing persons. I'm used to panicking families. But next order of business, now that everybody, who isn't here yet isn't going to be here, we do need to handle Deputy Jacob's body. He's the primary transmission vector right now, and we need that quarantine now. If better than quarantine, incinerated.
All right.
I understand you have the correct facilities in the morgue for cremation.
Sheriff, he hasn't really spoken yet since you've walked in and started talking to everybody, but he now steps up and like holds a hand out in front of you to almost like stop you. He's like, listen, we do have that, but no one's been down there since you were down there last night. It's the morgue. There's only dead bodies down there. We can just keep it locked up. Janet's not coming in. We don't need to go burning any bodies of recently deceased folks. We don't need his wife going through that. All right? Listen, she has...
For now, no. But we also need to check in on his wife. If he was at home sick, there's a very distinct possibility she is too.
He waves over one of his deputies. Go check on Christina, see if she's okay.
And Hal will also add, please make sure that you don't come into any physical contact with her at all in any way otherwise, too, just in case. If she doesn't answer the door after a few knocks, best assume that she's affected. And if she claims to not be, she might still be.
The deputy nods and heads out.
Okay, Sheriff, what would you say we do next then? This is your station.
We have anybody
Because
on Dr. Halsey, on Brian?
Yeah, one of my agents is keeping an eye on his house, making sure he doesn't try to leave and go to the hospital and potentially infect more people.
Then I say we escalate this. We need to. Do you think this is an act of terrorism, Agent, or do you think this is some freak outbreak? Which agency do we need to escalate this to, Agent?
I'll escalate this properly. This is
okay.
Yeah, don't worry about that. But it's until we can verify the identity of, the initial infection vector, likely the man who your deputy ran into that night. It's probably best to call this bioterrorism. We're just above table. We're just going to take that one because it's probably effective.
Understood. I will contact the EPA agents in the area, make sure that they are taking the proper precautions, and they will run that up their chain as well.
Perfect. Thank you for that. Of course. And I'm going to go update my chain as well. Please, if you do have a way to put some extra locks on the morgue door, just want to make sure nobody, gets jumpy.
We'll do that. We'll keep the place locked up tight. We always do.
Thank you.
Still seems kind of sour about the situation, but
yeah. Hey, I'm not pushing him on burning the body yet. Maybe later.
I think he's kind of relenting because you've given him that. Basically, he's like, "That's the one thing I'm asking for." So.
Yep. So yeah, Hello will step outside and first give High Tide a call to check in on if Dr. Halsey has tried to leave.
You see High Tide's phone ringing in his pocket. As you're about to grab it, the front door opens.
All right, I would prioritize keeping the coroner at bay.
Okay, so he's opening the door slowly. He's not like rushing out rapidly. He's just like, he's wearing like mostly the same pajamas as the night before. It looks like he didn't bother trying to wear better clothes because he just wants to go to the hospital now, and he's like, he doesn't need to be presentable. So he's just kind of slowly opening the door. He's kind of hunched over and clearly is like, he's like leaning on the door for support, and then like leans in the door frame and starts to like put one foot down on the front step like he's trying to get to his car.
All right, I would approach him and kind of try to get his attention and say, "Hey, good morning, coroner. How's it going? Halsey, right?"
I saw you last night. I'm going to the hospital. Like I said, I'm going. I'm gonna see a doctor, like I told you.
So new information has come to light, and we would prefer it if you quarantined instead of going to the hospital. We believe this is spread by contact, so we do not want it spreading further.
Listen, I'm real sick. I need to go to the hospital.
Yes, I get that, and we can have someone come here and check you out, preferably in a full hazmat suit. As of right now, we would like you to hang tight for a bit. Have you been eating anything strange? You have normal diet and everything?
I like to think that during this whole conversation, your phone is still going. He's like hardly paying attention to you. He just looks down at your pocket. Your phone Your phone's ringing. It's for you.
I would take it out of the pocket, open it, and just close it. Not look at the name. This is more important that we keep you away from people. Does anyone live with you?
Black bookcase, green thunder, sun sideways, recoiling.
What was that? Are you okay?
Huh? What? Who's that behind you?
I believe it's just the two of us. I will look behind me to see if there's anyone.
There's no one there.
But
Fool.
He looks up at the sky and says, "Huh. Stars." Like sunrise, there's no stars in the sky. I've never seen that constellation before. What does that one mean? Is that where I'm going?
do you know your name right now, sir?
Huh?
Do you know who you are?
I'm going to the stars. I'm going to the star people. I have to
Do
go.
I see any octahedrons showing up?
Nope. Give me a sanity check, though. Alright, you're fine. This man is clearly going insane, though, like rapidly. And he's like starting to get back up to his feet and start walking again.
Is there a strong stick that I can use to poke him back into his house?
You could, with a feat of strength, rip a board off his front fence.
All right, let's see if I have a feat of strength. I don't think I do. Oh!
Not only that, you have strength of feet.
He starts stepping towards you, and this poor, sick, feeble man, you just reach out with both hands, just put a foot on the like lower, like, what do you call it, a rung? Like, what's the actual part of the fence that goes between the posts? I don't know. You put your foot on that. And, thank you. You pull the other one off and just rip it, and it just comes free of the nails. And then you just start poking it back towards him. He's like, "Oh no, 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 no!" And then he sits down on the steps. He's like, "Thunder, thunder! I can hear thunder! Thunder! Make it stop! Thunder, thunder!" Starts rocking back and forth and like repeating that over and over again.
Sir, if it is at all possible, I need you to return to your house.
It's going again and again. It's going again and again and again and again and again.
Can I attempt to hit him with it and make him unconscious?
You can roll me armed combat.
Let's go.
Melee weapon combat, whatever this
Is there an improvised weapon skill?
Good question.
Oh, there's a melee weapon skill.
There is melee weapons.
I think I'd count this as melee weapons. Maybe with a -20.
Uh-oh. Oh!
Oh, you got it. Under 28. So you're trying to just hit him, like, are you trying to knock him out with it, or are you trying to knock him over? Just trying to
knock him out.
Oh, okay.
Or at least get his
him.
senses back to him.
Alright, so you swing, and the board hits his head, and you see he's, like, feebly walking around, but it feels strangely heavy when you hit him. And his head kind of tilts to the side and just stays there. And then he falls down to his knees, and his head rises back up into place. Not like it broke his neck or anything. But then, and his eyes are open, but he's just stopped there.
Sir, do you know who you are?
Tiny bit of blood trickles down the side of his head. He is not responding. He's breathing, but he's not talking.
The phone starts vibrating again.
Yes.
Alright, I think this time with him just kind of in front of me, I will still hold the board in one hand and pick up the phone.
Alright. As you pick up the phone, we're going to switch scenes to Hematite. So you click, and that's the moment we switch scenes. Hematite, you're descending into the green box. Did you bring a light with you? A flashlight? Something of that nature, I assume?
Flashlight. I have a pen light that I keep in my purse.
Perfect. So we see you start to shine that around in this very, very dark underground bunker. Trying to see what you can find down here. And I apologize, I forgot where these notes are. God damn it. This PDF is laid out in a weird way. I love how much this has broken the flow. But you start looking around, you find a bunch of different boxes and stuff, right? You find there are mostly cardboard boxes down here, but there's a few like foot lockers and things of that nature, a few larger like lockers. And it's just all covered in dust. You start just going through everything, just trying to find anything you can here.
I'm specifically looking for hazmat suits and something innocuous to transport them in.
Okay. So you start looking through some of the larger containers then, and you do find the first thing you open is a big locker, and when you open it, a bunch of mouse traps just start falling out of it. Like they're all just stacked up in there, and a lot of them start going off because like most of them are armed inside this box. And they just start clicking and clacking and bouncing around as they pop and land on each other and start flying around. So you're gonna have to dodge out of the way of that. Then you open another box, and there appears to be a fully intact, stored rocket launcher in here. A very old one, maybe several decades old. You find a collection of 6 thermite grenades.
How large are those?
The thermite grenades, I mean, grenade sized. You could palm one of them. I mean,
Hema has a big purse. I think she's gonna put 2 of them in her bag.
Okay, hell yeah. You can add 2 thermite grenades to your your purse. You find in one of the larger boxes. You start looking in larger and larger boxes because you're trying to figure out where a hazmat suit is, and you find what appears to be a very large chunk of sandstone, but you kind of like brush the light over it, and it almost looks like there's some kind of other mineral that's been laced through it, almost like not like an alloy, but there's like veins of this material through it, like ore or something, but it's sandstone, which is weird.
If it doesn't look rainbowy, I'm leaving it alone.
Do you have science geology, just as just to see if you happen to notice something about it by looking at it? If not, all good. I would assume not, if you don't just see it.
Anthropology. No, I do not.
So, yeah, you don't notice anything about it just by looking at it. But you do see embedded in it is what appears to be like a dog tag and a metal chain. It's just kind of like inside, kind of half sticking out of the sandstone as if it's like a partially unearthed fossil.
Yeah, not my problem right now, but
Fair.
make note of it in case I want to raid this place later.
So you cover that one back up. You find a sawzall in another box, which includes attachments for butchering. You find a whole bunch of glass bottles with corrosive warning labels on them. You find... Yes.
Do any of them look strong enough to eat away a body?
Yes. They look like they could. They look extremely potent. They are not labeled with the actual substance that's in them, but they are labeled with so many warning symbols that you have to assume that they're extremely potent.
Okay, I will put one of those in my mega purse.
Oh God. You find a suit of combat body armor in desert camouflage. It is a British Army issued armor. And in the pockets that would usually hold strike plates in the back and the front, there are textbooks inserted. several of each kind of stacked on top of each other to fill that space. Then you find one remaining box here. Has a tape deck inside on top of a folded up hazmat suit.
The tape deck, like, have... Okay. For Joanna, whose brain is dead, tape deck?
Like a tape player.
Okay. Hematite would play it first.
It has a power adapter to be plugged into a wall that appears several decades old.
Then, if it's not wired to be a warning, she's just going to ignore it.
Okay. You do see, as you put it aside, that the tape inside is labeled. Grab the hazmat suit.
Is the box, like, already... Because, like, if the tape deck fits in the box, I might as well just grab them both, because that's how hematite thinks.
It is a fairly large box, but you could, carry it that way.
Alright, and one last thing, because it's hematite, are there any, like, obvious unnatural books in here?
Any obvious unnatural books, you said?
Like, for my next downtime activity.
Yeah, so the only books you found were what appeared to be like textbooks that were inserted into the armor. You could pull those out and see what they are potentially.
I think
that there were books.
Real quick, I would rifle through them.
Okay, so they appear to be several copies each of one particular book. A 1997 novel titled The Neutronium Alchemist.
Through them, do they look identical?
The books look identical, yeah. They're a bunch of sci-fi novels.
Like, if I flip through the pages, does the text look fairly the same?
Yeah, you just kind of scan through it with your flashlight. They all look like just someone raided a bookstore and got a bunch of books. Grabbed all the same things off of it.
That one of those is going to go into the box.
Okay. You take one of the the armor books, and you have the boxes maybe size of like a pretty hefty suitcase. It's kind of the size of the box, but it is carryable. It's heavy, but like that's kind of the have to. It's not like so bulky you can't.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's gonna carry it for a short distance and then drag it for a bit.
Okay.
Until she's far enough away that she doesn't think tracks will be leading to the green box, and then drag it until she gets to the edge of the woods, and then start carrying it again to her car.
All right. We'll snap back to high tide. You've picked up the phone. Hello has called you.
Yes, who is this?
Hey, it's Hallow.
Yeah, I'm kind of dealing with something. Can we make this quick?
Yes. I was calling to check in to see how things were going with Doc Halsey.
He is non-communicative and talking about the star people, so I've hit him with a piece of wood. He's currently non-responsive on the ground, but doing my best not to make contact. He will not get back in his house.
Well, that's not great. At least he's not going anywhere fast. I don't know, if he gets back up, can you slash his tires or something?
I can do that.
Also, did you say star people?
Not star people. He's talking about the sky, the stars. He's gonna go be with the stars, so I don't know. Just seems a little suspicious to me.
Nobody else has mentioned that yet, but that...
He's rambling on about lightning and stars. It's the right early in the morning. There's no stars.
Okay. That. All right. Well,
Is there anyone you can send over here to help out? I know hematite was going to be on her way, but
outside of someone from the sheriff's office, probably not. By the way, they're going to go check on the deputy's wife, who, at this point, I would not be surprised if she was also infected. We're calling this one on as bioterrorism, so we can put the whole thing as classified.
all right. Is the coroner still just kneeling in front of you?
Yeah, he's got like his eyes raised to the sky, just looking up.
All right, I'm gonna put the piece of wood under my arm with the phone and take out my knife and slash the tires of his car.
Okay. Give me a luck roll.
Luck.
You hear a car drive by, but it goes by very quickly. Probably didn't see anything.
Probably. Okay, with his does he have his arms at his side?
Yeah, they're just kind of dangling.
I want to try to drag him back into the house somehow, but I don't know how to do it without making contact. Alright, I'm gonna go back to him and try to talk to him again and say, hey, is anyone in there?
Say go back to him. 10 feet away, 5 feet away, 15 feet away.
Probably
Yeah,
10 feet.
Okay.
Oh, 10 feet's out on the street?
I'd say if you're going like, he doesn't have like an extensive house and then like a very short patch of grass and then sidewalk and then the street. Like, yeah, you could. He's only on his front steps. You could probably go about 10 feet back and you'd be like on the curb or so. So if that's where you want to go, you could. You could be back farther. There's not really any cars around right now, but I'm just curious what your positioning is.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna be positioned between him and... Or I want him positioned between myself and his house.
Okay.
So if I need to, I can rush and tackle him back into his house.
Okay, so let's say you're kind of where you were when you started talking. Yeah, anyone in there? And give me a dodge roll at 20% extra.
Oh!
Oh, no.
You say anyone in there, and then his whole abdomen convulses. You think you hear ribs crack as his whole body, like every muscle, forces together into one projectile vomit in your direction. And it lands all over your shirt. You got grazed by a little bit of it. It's just like, blat, direct hit, center of mass.
I would immediately take my shirt off. And at this point, I've made contact, so I'm going to attempt to put the piece of wood under his shoulders and drag him back into his house.
You see you drag him into his house. See the door close from an outside perspective. Camera just slowly pans back. We're gonna leave it.
Ooh.